Hey guys, welcome back. This is Storm and welcome to episode 146 of our single player Tiveden world. Starting off the episode by doing a little bit of fishing in our wonderfully updated pond. I think I mentioned at the end of the last episode this area right near our wheat farm. So we have our wheat farm over here, we have our watermill and our two towers, our twin towers. This one's the donation tower. I think this area was certainly going to be a pretty nice candidate for updating this water system, putting in all the new seagrass and other kelp blocks. Is that a stick, really? A stick, wonderful. So yes, putting in some sea life or water life into this area, I think it really completes this pond. And this is probably, I guess, a tease of what I want to do around other waterworks in my world, wherever I've built structures near water. Be pretty cool to add in some details into the oceans and the rivers around there, just so it looks more lively and I guess more relevant to update Aquatic now that we have upgraded. So this area has been worked on. I've also worked on, can I get up here? Okay, cool. No, I'm not going to stand there. Can I stand now? Okay, we're all good. So yes, I have also worked on the wheat. So before we had the wheat kind of stopping right here. So I've extended out the wheat around the edge, all the way around here, and also around the back. So let's head out that direction and just show you guys. And I've also completed this pond area around the back as well. I think it just completes this area, makes it look a little bit more natural, blends in a bit nicer. So pretty happy with this result. Are you going, Mr. Salmon? Is this Mr. Salmon? You don't know Mr. Salmon yet, but this is not Mr. Salmon. Don't be fooled. This is not a Mr. Salmon. This is just a regular salmon. In fact, let's try and find our Mr. Salmon. He's around here somewhere. You guys probably think I'm crazy right now. But here we go. Is this Mr. Salmon? Ah, yes, you are Mr. Salmon. So, I brought over two of these guys because we're in a mountains biome. So let's take a look. There we go. Mountains. So I'm pretty sure we will never get naturally spawning fish mobs in this pool of water here. So we do have a river nearby, so which does have salmon naturally spawning. So I brought over two. One of them I named in a bucket and then placed it in the water. That was Mr. Salmon. The other one I just used a bucket and then placed the salmon into this water. And I'm curious to know, is the one that's not named, will that despawn? I'm pretty sure it will, but I might be wrong on that. So I think we'll leave that. Oh, it's just me rowing. I'm thinking I hear phantoms every time because the actual rowing sounds a little bit like the initial swooping action of a phantom. Yeah, so having brought over these couple of salmons, I'm curious to see, will either of these two despawn? Let's take a look from above, if I can fly. We're going to fly. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look. It's not bad. Let's stand on top of this tree, maybe. I think it looks a lot better than it was before, so because none of this had wheat on it, and this is just unnatural, or well, untouched, I should say. It's not definitely not unnatural. But I think this area looks good, and having all this life into this pond area, I think it really completes this this look for this area. So happy to continue this kind of look and feel for other parts of my world as well. Just on the lookout for phantoms. Ah, I did hear you. I do have my sounds pretty low, so sometimes it can be hard to hear these guys. And it's funny because I have to be a little bit careful because I don't know what mobs are beneath me, so let's just get out of here. I was going to say these phantoms really aren't too much of a challenge, but it's funny when you've got other mobs to contend with at the same time, then that can be a challenge. Let's take a look from up here. I really like the way the wheat kind of crop and farming area here looks at night time. It's pretty cool. And you can see I'm kind of ignoring these phantoms. I don't really have too much to fear from these guys, particularly when they're by themselves, but they are a little bit annoying, I must admit. After playing the game for a little while now, after upgrading, the phantoms, yes, I'm on the fence if they're a good idea or not. I don't like to sleep typically during the night times, so having to contend with these a number of times during the night is a little bit frustrating. More annoying rather than frustrating. But we have managed to kill quite a few. We've already got a stack of phantom membranes. And let's just take a look at our stats, actually. So, where are they? Mobs. Where is our phantom kills? I think they go down the bottom. Yes. And there we go. 100 phantoms. So I killed 100 phantoms already, and I haven't been trying. This is just stuff that's been attacking me, so if they attack me, I'll attack them. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to have to start sleeping now. Prefer not to. For the time being, I'm just going to ignore them, and hopefully they ignore me. I do have some sea pickles, I do have a little bit of seagrass, but I think it would be pretty cool to create a farm for these. So let's think about an area where we can build some farms. Ah, look at this. We've found ourselves an XP tree. Wouldn't that be interesting to have in the game? Maybe make it very rare, but you know, really hard to get. I don't know. Anyway, so this is an area that I'm thinking of creating these farms, because I think I had also talked about in a previous episode, because we've got this area underneath this sugar box, so you can fall on through, come into this room. I think this is where we'll build our farms. I think it's a nice area, and we could certainly make it maybe feel like a lab or some kind of aquatic area. And we'll fill all this in, we'll have water above, so I think this could be a nice fitting area to have our aquatic based farms. So this would be probably a kelp farm. Don't really need kelp in mass, but we might make a little condensed farm in here. And we'll be able to get some seagrass, maybe we'll do a farm for that, and we'll also do the sea pickles. I have created an example design for these kind of farms on my channel. In fact, let's go and take a quick look at these designs, because I'm not going to go through the building process for this area. What I'll do is just recap on what the designs will look like, and then I'll just build them off camera in my world here. Incoming, hey? So this is one of my dodgy test worlds that I was using throughout the Update Aquatic snapshot development phase, just trying out different things. I came up with a sea pickle farm, so this works pretty well, and you get a whole lot of sea pickles out of this, so I'll probably build this in my world. Also have, what do we have over here? This is one of those simple kelp kind of farms, just using the detectors, observers rather, to activate some pistons that will break off the kelp and go into some chests. And then we've got a seagrass farm. We could probably make the same kind of farm here in a wall motion to also get the coral blocks. There's the same kind of deal with a dispenser pushing out bone meal. Will actually grow coral if it's in a wall motion, but because my island's in just a normal biome, I'll only be able to get seagrass. But we'll create this farm anyway, I think, in our world. Whoa, incoming! Let's quickly get down in here, and hopefully they don't follow me through. But how you going? We are back, and take a look. We have some farms completed, equipped with a zombie, just for bonus. Oh, you got out. I thought you were dead. Yeah, it's all happening. It's all happening. Let's cool off. Let's make sure this guy's dead. Yep, I think we're all good. Alright, so phantoms, you stay out there. So we've got the basics of these farms now complete. We have our kelp farm here, and as the kelp grows, the detector rails will detect them, the pistons will push them, and then that will break them off. The kelp will flow up to the water above, and then take that down into these chests. So just while I've been working here, I've collected a little bit of kelp. That's worked out quite nicely. What's this? You're just hanging out up there, are you? Oh, there he is. I kind of get a glimpse of him. Interesting. So, yes, we also have this seagrass farm, and it looks like this just harvested, so we'll get, there you go, some floating kelp. This will float up to the top, and then come down into these chests. And over here we have our seagrass farm, and this is where we go backwards and forwards in the minecart with some shears. The kelp will, or the seagrass will break off, float to the top, then come down into these chests. So you go through this pretty quickly. Let's give this a test run. I think I've got some shears here somewhere. Where's my shears? No shears? Alright, fine. Let's get a brand new pair. While these phantoms are circling above me, trying to kill me. Let's grab some bone meal. We'll just get a little bit. Won't need too much, just to prove a point. So let's grab this. I need to install some kind of pathway to get into here, but for now this is just how I'm doing it. So all you do is you throw that in there, jump into this minecart, then we can just go backwards and forwards, collecting all the seagrass. And just like the kelp farm, this seagrass will float up to the surface and then go through some water streams, pushing the seagrass into these chests over here. So it's really easy, really quick, and you get a whole lot of seagrass in no time at all. And then over here, just above these... Did I get a phantom here or not? There's actually quite a few out there. And I don't know what other mobs are up there, so let's maybe just ignore them for the time being. But over here we have our seagrass farm, and what we can do is we just flick a lever and we'll get, well, not seagrass, sea pickle farm. And this is exactly the same kind of setup that I had in my creative world, except I've changed the orientation of a few things. So we'll have sea pickles growing and then being broken by the pistons, pushed into this hole. And then what we have behind here is a water stream. So sea pickle is going to fall into this water, come across here. Then I put a soul sand block in here. So this is going to be a floating bubble stream. So it's going to push all the items up to the top here. And then let's see if we can get out of here in one piece. And then when the items come up here, they're going to come into this flowing bit of water, go into this hopper, and then into this chest. So that's how this will work. Everything else up here is the same as what I showed in my tutorial. So if you want to know how to build this particular sea pickle farm, pretty straightforward. And I do have a tutorial on my channel. And this is pretty quick and it's pretty efficient, so I'm pretty happy the way this works. And these chests really, so this one's for storage, this is for putting in bone meal into the system, and this is just for having additional storage. So this isn't connected to anything, so if I want to store extra bones or bone meal in here, because I need to come down and put it into this chest as well if I want to use this farm, then having all the, I guess the bone meal in that chest is a good way to store everything. So I think it looks good, it's pretty symmetrical, and we just need to probably put in some extra details in here so it doesn't look quite as plain and boring as it does at the moment. I did go for a clinical kind of look in here. I think that was a nice touch. Wow, that sounded weird. I think they're burnt up. Maybe not. It's not fully sunny out there yet, so I still see them circling. Yeah, so I went through a kind of a phase of trying to make some kind of clinical look in here. I think it's going to look good. I'll mix in some quartz just to break up the white concrete that we've used, and the new textures we have for the plain glass blocks here looks really good for a design like this. So I think we'll stay with this. And for the flooring, I'm thinking of digging this out and building an underwater aquarium. I think that could be pretty interesting. And then adding in maybe a bit of colour into the sides here. And over here, so while I've been working, I put a fish that was in a bucket into this 2x2 bit of water, and it hasn't despawned. So I'm thinking when you do place a fish out of a bucket, it will not despawn. So that's something we could certainly try a little bit more of, particularly out by our wheat farm area. So I'm going to finish off this room now. I'm going to build in a ceiling, take out the floor, probably put an underwater aquarium, and then this area will be all nicely done. Let's just make sure there's no surprises up here though. Let's just see if we can get up here and take a look. This phantom should have burnt off by now. Hopefully there's no mobs. Okay, we've got a few skeletons. Alright, fine. So for the bottom area here, I'm going for a sand kind of look and feel. I'm probably going to mix in some slabs now that we can waterlog them, just to try and break up, I guess, the sharpness of a full block here. And we'll have this area flooded. Probably go back to that wall motion area, grab some coral blocks. Be cool to have some coral in here as well. Then we'll put in all these other produce things that we'll get from these farms and put fish and water in here. So this room is pretty much done now. I've got the underwater aquarium looking thing. You can see the fish quite clearly through this glass, but I am wondering though, is this glass too similar to the glass we have around our farms here? So we are going to try switching this out for a different block type. I want to try, maybe we'll go for a light blue or a dark blue. Let's start with a dark blue here. Is that going to look better or worse? They bring over a couple of different options here. Get rid of this one as well. And maybe we'll try white even. What do we think? It looks pretty crazy. Maybe we'll switch it out for light blue. I think I've got light blue on me. Are you going, fish? Enjoying your new home? Not that one. That's white. Okay, this one. Light blue. I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, it just kind of looks a little strange, I think, having the normal glass. So I'll have to think about this. And you might be wondering how you're going to get out of here. I haven't done the ceiling yet, but I'll need to do that. I'm going to build a bubble column just here. So I do have soul sand somewhere on me. So let's grab some supplies here. So what we're going to do is put down a soul sand block. Now I also wanted a way to access the back of these farms. So I've got a sneaky little passageway back here. And then we've got some trapdoors to prevent us from flooding this whole area. So I should be able to put down... Let's grab a few more buckets maybe. Let's do this. There we go. Let's just put down a... not that. A water source block there and one there. That's a good start. And then we'll put one right here as well. And see, this is going to start creating a bubble column. But we want to fill this whole area up with water. So there's a few ways to do that. The simplest way though, it may take a little while though, is to replace this temporarily, the soul sand block, with just any other block. And then put down some kelp, because when this kelp will grow, it's actually going to create source water blocks each time it changes a height. So every time it moves up a level, it's going to create a water source block. So what we could do is just make sure there's flowing water above it. So let's just... what happened there? There we go. I need to get some flowing water above here, because every time this moves up, it needs some water to flow into. So let's just put some water up here for the time being. And then we'll see this eventually grow up, and then we can remove the kelp, put back the soul sand, and then we'll have a bubble column taking us back up to the surface. So as it turns out, you can put down the kelp yourself and make this whole process a lot faster. So that's what we've done. This bubble column is now complete. So when we flood this upper section here, we'll have a simple way to get back up to the surface. And I've also worked on the roof design in here. So this area is now done. Let's go down and check it out. We fall on through, and then this is what it now looks like. It kind of looks like a barn a little bit on the ends, but I don't know, I think this is all I could come up with for now. I might change it out in the future, but for now I think we'll just settle for this. Pretty simple stuff, but that's good enough. And for this glass, I actually switched this out for cyan coloured stained glass. So I think this is a nice look. It kind of blends in nicely with the dark prismarine. So I'm pretty happy with this room now. And I think what we'll do is just this up the pond area up the top. We'll flood that out as well, and we'll also put down some kelp and seagrass in here, and then this whole area should be done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, then we'll come back and take a look. So a fair amount of time has passed, and we've made some decent progress on this area, so let's take a look. I think you'll enjoy it. So we've got this area flooded now, and I haven't flooded it up to ground level. I went down one extra block. I think it just adds a nice bit of depth around this pond area. So we could always bring it up one extra layer if we wanted to in the future, but I think it now looks okay. And that means for this area I kind of just made it broken up so it's not quite flowing. So if we wanted to put fish in here, they won't be able to escape down into this area, so we could play with that in the future as well. But there's another area that I've also made some changes to. So let's come on, this is the bubble column. You can see it's coming up. That's how we get out from the bottom area. But you might remember we had this tunnel system here, and I always said I was going to flood it when we upgraded to Update Aquatic. So if you've never seen it before, enjoy this. If you had waited for me to flood this, then what do you think? You'll have to let me know. It's a little mysterious kind of pathway that comes out through here. There are some pockets of air just in case you needed to surface for any reason. But I do like how it's all nice and dark and mysterious. And then you can just come on through, and then you turn out down this way. So I don't think I could have ended the episode without revisiting the roof down underneath here. It was just playing on my mind. I thought it was just something about it. I knew we could do better, so I've made some further changes. So let's go down and take a look. Here we go. And is this better? What do you think? It's trying to bring in a bit of the quartz across the room and not just having a solid bit of the dark prismarine above there. I think it looks a lot better, but you'll have to let me know if you've got better ideas or suggestions. And what I've done is just tidied up this chute area where you fall down. So this is the one you fall down. Put this in just for symmetry, but I think it looks good. And now I'm happy with this room. I think it's all nicely done now. And I've also made a few changes down here, so this looks a bit nicer. So we come on through, then this is all put dark prismarine around, just so we can come down this area and access this dropper to drop off the bone meal. So it's just little things like that that help to complete a build. And it's stuff that you'll probably never see, but it's just helps to make things complete. So pretty happy with it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of this area. If there's anything you want to see me change, let me know in the comments. And we'll see you guys, again very soon. So I think the coast is clear. So now that we've taken out that threat, I am keen to know, what do you guys do about your phantoms? Is there a trick that you guys have? Do you just sleep through the night? Is there other things that you do to basically to scare them off? I know in the Village and Pillage update, the cats will scare off the phantoms, so maybe I could walk around with a patrol of a cat army following me or something like that. But yeah, I'm keen to see. What is it that you guys do? Let me know. Anyway, so we're done with the episode. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.